In the last lesson, we discussed the concept of finding the purpose of a term in a passage. We also discussed that these questions are inference-based and that the mind map approach works very well for these questions. In this lesson, we would be applying this approach on a GRE-like example. Before we do so, you may want to pause the video and revise the approach. Let us now take a GRE-like example. Here is the question, and here is our mind map approach. We have seen this passage in earlier lessons, and this is the mind map we came up with. Our first bite was the first sentence of the passage. What did it do? It raised a question around whether this scientist can be considered a remarkable one. Our second bite is this part of the passage. What did this bite do? It developed a case for yes as the answer, as in why this scientist should be considered a remarkable one. Then we saw a contrast trigger, followed by what we can consider the last bite of the passage. And what this does is to develop a case for no as the answer, as in why this scientist cannot be considered a remarkable one. We completed the first 4 steps, and now we must go about reading the question stem. We see that it is a purpose of a term question. Therefore, we need to refer back to the passage and delve into the details to understand the role played by the highlighted term. From the mind map, we know that the purpose of this part of the paragraph is to develop a case for why this scientist may not be a remarkable one. The context in which this term has been used is that the general fame of this scientist is not in sync with his standing among scientists, and that although these scientists recognize the influence of this scientist, they are unwilling to group him alongside these highlighted individuals. Therefore, these highlighted individuals must be remarkable scientists, which in comparison, this scientist, in the opinion of scientists in general, is not. Therefore, these scientists are examples of a certain standard that this scientist does not meet. With that broad expectation, let's look at the answer choices. Answer choice E is exactly in sync with our broad expectation from the correct answer choice. Yes, these scientists set a certain standard, a benchmark against which they compare this scientist, and the result is that they are unwilling to put this scientist in the same category. Answer choice E is absolutely correct. It is not that these scientists are examples of astronomers who are often contrasted against this scientist. The term often contrasted against is a deal breaker here. Choice B is interesting. It's not about the fame, rather, it is about the nature of work. Fame is not a problem for our scientist here. There is no discussion about these individuals using our scientists' findings. This is probably the worst of the 5 answer choices. In fact, even worse is choice D, establishing a climate in which our scientist conducted his research is totally irrelevant to the context in which these scientists have been quoted. This was a very interesting question. E is the correct answer choice.